Hi. Hey, what's the secret to having an excellent, amazing quarterly? I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, really, truly blowing the roof out of what a 10 can be. Well, it's all in the preparation, which I've listed up here, and I'm going to walk through in detail because our clients ask us all the time how they can do this. And I want to help you really think it through, because when you and everyone on your leadership team do this, it's going to be a game changer. Whether you're working with us or not, this is the single most important stuff you have to do 4 times a year. That isn't asking a lot. It isn't every single meeting, though I'd challenge you to do that. And we have an L10 prep for the meeting video, so watch that too. But really, truly doing these steps every time you go to a quarterly will drastically improve the quality of your quarterlies, even if they were already fabulous. Now I'm going to turn this around and show you one of our favorite quotes, which is in our session room. You can see it says, "By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail." Thank you, Benjamin Franklin, for that. And that being said, I want to go through the prep list so you fully understand what I mean when I'm talking about this stuff. And this is how I prepare for my quarterlies, and I challenge and ask my teams to do the same. So here we go. Number 1, allow 2 to 3 hours. Now, I like to do mine over several days at times. If it's a particularly sticky quarter, I might do it all the day before because I'm in a particular mindset. Sometimes I do it that way. I prefer over many days so that I take it in bite-sized pieces and come at it with fresh eyes. So 2 to 3 hours, I would tell you, is usually more than enough. For some of you, it might be more. Depends on your need and how much there is to go through. So what do you review? This is everything that happened in the past 90 days. So your rocks, are they done or not? Check in. How about anyone else on your team? Do you believe they're done? Are they done the way you hoped they would be and thought they might be? If not, come in prepared and write it on the issues list, or be ready to have the conversation to get it on the issues list at the right time. Scorecard. Comb through your scorecard. You should be doing this on a weekly basis. However, I think about the weekly L10s are like cleaning your home, and the quarterlies are how you come to a spring cleaning, where you're doing the nooks and crannies and really doing a deep dive, and do your company this service so that the maintenance means you're staying on top of things, but once a quarter you really go in and get in the tiniest little pieces. With your scorecard, things like, what patterns and trends do you see? What, in terms of what needs to happen or change or be affected, does that tell you? Who's working well? Who's not? Because you can look into the departmental scorecards, you can look at the company one. Certainly we're reviewing the company one at our quarterly, but be prepared. Have answers. Think about you and your department so that if called on the carpet and wondering what's going on with those numbers, you have your answers ready. Why? Because your implementer, me, is going to do that work so that I can support you if no one on the team asks. And you should be asking one another, because it isn't my meeting, it isn't the visionaries meeting, it isn't the integrators meeting, it's our meeting. So everyone needs to come to the table prepared to really challenge what's there and make us better. Again, once a quarter, think about who's around the table. This is your most expensive meeting. Time, energy, and money you are spending a full day to improve the quality of your business. Make it count. Okay, comb through the VTO ahead of time. Ask yourselves questions like these. Are there any people issues? Whose name should be on the issues list if they're really not performing, or behaviorally they're not accountable to our core values? Are we hiring, firing, reviewing, rewarding, and recognizing based on those? If not, call that out. We've got to be improving. Comb through your entire VTO, asking around core focus. Are our systems and processes driving that core focus? Not just a pass through, but truly saying what systems and processes could be tweaked or might need to be tweaked to ensure that's the result. Looking at your long-term target and your 3-year picture and your 1-year plan. Are we aligned, and did our rocks move us closer to all of that this quarter or not? And if so, what needs to get reinvigorated? Is that compelling? Are people excited about that future? Are they crystal clear that's where the company is going? These are not light questions. We have to ask them every 90 days because we forget. And if you're new to this, remember 7 times to hear it the first time. We should be able to walk in, I should walk into anybody's company, yours especially, and walk up to any employee and say, tell me what your 3 uniques are. Are we using those to differentiate ourselves every time we meet a new person? If not, we've got to fix that. So anyone in the company should be prepared to know this information. And if not, we've got to do better, got to be working to improve. Looking at the 3-year, is that a vivid, crystal picture that motivates you every day? Do you see progress? Do you see us moving toward it? Is it going well? If not, are we neglecting things, and should we have those on the forefront? If so, again, issues list. When you get to the 1 year, you need to say, are we on track based on the quarter we're in? Q1, are we a quarter of the way there? Q2, are we halfway? Q3, 3/4 of the way? You get this. Are we almost rounding the bend near our annual that should be a done deal for all of those goals, 3 to 7? Are we really truly on track? And if not, am I prepared to come in and have the discussion and challenge the thinking so that we get back on track? Because the option of let's alter that goes away. This is about who do we need to be, what do we need to do to get back on track for that. Issues lists, make sure you comb through both your VTO issues list, those things that are waiting once a quarter for us to review. Highlight any that you think really truly need to be addressed this quarter. So when we come into the session, it's a matter of adding them to the issues list quickly because we've given it thought. Also review your recent L10 issues list. Are any of those not currently on the issues list for the quarterly that should be? Highlight those as well, so when we come in, again, that list is cascading itself almost because you've done the preparation. Look through your accountability chart. Is this the right structure to get us the next 6 to 12 months in alignment with where we want to go? If it is not, if it's just a picture of where we are, is it working? Is it sufficient for the next leg of our journey, 6 to 12 months? Or do we need to rescope some things because we're reaching capacity in any given seat? Structurally, you need to be 6 to 12 months ahead every single quarterly. So make sure you review it with that kind of scrutiny. Your calendar. For me, one of the most critical things I do is I look back over the last quarter and I say, what were the highlights? What were the lowlights? Did we get an inordinate amount of things done? Did we move a ton of things? What am I most proud of? Who am I most proud of? What do I want to make sure I'm coming in to celebrate? And what do I want to make sure we absolutely get our arms around? Because in the last quarter, I don't know about you, but in the pace I run, I can't remember 90 days worth of events. So if I haven't done my preparation, I'm usually only thinking about the last week, maybe 10 days on my best day. And I have to be willing to review and really think about it because that's going to prompt much richer dialogue and, again, appreciation and celebration. We don't do a ton of that. It's at the beginning of the meeting when we're checking in on bests. Have something substantive to bring to the table. So that comes from here oftentimes for those of us who do too much. Now on the preview side, looking forward the next 90 days, what do we have to be thinking about? What are the priorities? Those 90-day priorities are rocks for this quarter. Think about what cycle is it in our business. Is this the time in business when we're slowest, when we're busiest, when it's craziest? Are we innovating? Are we growing? Are we shrinking? Are we cautious? Are we concerned about certain things because of where we are with our business, along with where are we going on that 1 year plan? What needs to be accomplished in this next 90-day leg to make sure we're on track to deliver it no matter what, along with all the things happening in our industry at this time in the cycle of business. Think about it. That can lend to much better dialogue and much better rock setting. Check your calendar. Again, looking forward 90 days, which for me is overwhelming. Again, if you're in the do too much category, you look at those 90 days and you think, oh my God, how am I going to get it all done? However, it starts to trigger capacity. How many rocks really can you get done? Is it reasonable? Is it absolutely something that you can measure and get done? Because if I look at my calendar and it's the holidays and I have a few vacations and a conference in there, reality says I'm not going to be in the office all the time. What rocks are appropriate and how do we get them done otherwise? Because we have to consider any help we need and resources to get them done if I'm not the doer of them. So we have to give some thought to this ahead of time so we know what to ask for while we have all the brilliant minds at the table. Last but not least, make sure you have captured any elephants. If by combing through all of this, your top issue is not on there, any elephants in the room, you have to be willing to get that down on paper, bring it in, and start your meeting there, having it on the issues list. Remember, by failing to prepare, you're preparing to fail. This list and doing this work for 2 to 3 hours 4 times in the year is a game changer for how the quality of your sessions are and how fast we can advance you in EOS. Happy preparing, that was hard to say, happy preparing, and best of luck to you. Let's get it 10 out of 10.